Welcome to Level Up, real talk that takes you higher. I am your host, Angee from the B. Welcome, 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 everyone. And thank you guys for hanging out with us on this beautiful Sunday afternoon. Yes, we are live, you guys. We are live and we are feeling quite great right now. And it's due to the fact me and Mr. Scribe are excited to have them back to the show. It's been a quite a long time, Mr. Scribe, hadn't it been?
Man, they probably made about 15 or 20 films since the last time we saw these guys, because it's been a while.
It's been a while. I want to say, George and Rick, I want to say it's been about 2 years since you guys have been on the platform. So when I reached out to you, George, I was quite shocked because I know you guys are busy, busy, busy. When you said, yes, bring us on. We'll
Of course. Why wouldn't we? I mean, look at your smiling faces, for God's sake.
But George, you
man.
gotta remember, George, that's a very big thing because Angee is just into this A-list, B-list type of thing. And since I'm on the B-list,
Really?
I'm trying to work my way up to the A-list so I can have, a big role. So you as an actor would know, hey, if she asked you and you agreed, there's that A-list thing going on. So
You know what?
Listen, I love what you said, but where's that A-lister? I'm just an actor. I'm just an actor.
Thank you, George.
very
Thank
good
you.
one too.
Thank you. Thank you.
Very good. Well, listen, we've got some incredible guys on the screen, ladies and gentlemen. If you are watching us on Facebook, you can also head on over to The Real Level Up on YouTube, Instagram, what is the other one? LinkedIn. I mean, we're on all these platforms, you guys, and it's due to the fact that we have moved over to StreamYard, which is a great platform that we have in of itself. But it's given us an opportunity, you guys. These guys are all the way across the other side. We had to make sure. Now, George, what time is it on your end?
It is 12 noon.
It's 12 noon. 3 o'clock where we are. Welcome, who is already in, you guys. CHH Jams, our sister show, who will be starting on today at 7 Eastern time. You guys don't want to miss that show as well. And take a look at this.
Oh,
Rick and
Sally. Hey, Sally.
well, listen, so you guys, we already have some people that are already going to join us in on this conversation. As you guys know, here at Level Up, we're not asking you guys to be interviewed. We're going to have a conversation about what you guys are doing, what you guys have been doing in the past 2 years since you've been on the show. That's why we're so excited that you guys are here. George and Rick, thank you guys for accepting the invitation.
Thank you for having us.
Well, listen, before we get started, Mr. Scribe, do you have your scripture to set the
Of
tone?
course, I'm on cue and I'm ready. I'm on cue, so I'm prepared. I pulled this one from Colossians as we was having our pre-show talk about what you guys do and how you guys do it. And it's Colossians, the 3rd chapter and the 23rd verse, and it reads, whatever you do, work heartily as for the Lord and not for men. So when you're making your films, you're doing it for his glory, not what other people's opinions, and kind of like these things we were talking about during the telling of the story.
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
Nice.
Wow. Thank you. Thank you. Well, listen, before we go to our first break, which should be in about another 5 minutes, you guys, give the audience, especially the audience that are listening, because we're also streaming live on CHH Jams Radio, for our viewing and listening audience, just a little tidbit about yourself. Go ahead, George.
Oh, okay. Originally from New York and did my studying and training out there. I see Nolan going crazy. Yes, sir.
The Bronx,
The Bronx.
and
Ditto,
Queens,
right
and
here.
Queens.
Oh, wow. Right by Van Cortlandt Park. Anyway,
Ooh.
so yeah, born originally in the Bronx, and then just Greek family, and a lot of love, a lot of Greek food. And then, that's where, in New York, did some theater, was on a soap opera, uh, got my training wheels out there, and now out in California with my lovely wife, Christina. And it's great. Life is good.
Wow, awesome. Rick, what's going on with you?
All right, yo, I'm from Seaside, California. The Central Coast, California, Monterey, Pebble Beach Marina. Just a beautiful area. Did theater for 13 years after getting kicked out of woodshop. They put me into acting class, and at Seaside High, I got kicked out of another class. And my counselor was like, "Since you want to act up, I'm going to put you in acting, drama."
Wow. Okay.
So I said, all right. So I got in there. I got a D in acting. I got a D in in drama class. But I did plays, and from that point on, from high school, for the next 13 years, I did plays. So I didn't really move out to LA. Me and my wife, my wife's got family out there in LA, so we decided to move there around the end of 1999 because I wanted to take it serious. After getting into a head-on collision, I almost lost my life there.
Whoa.
So after the head-on collision, that's when I had to come to Jesus moment. And I said, I had no fear at that time. I loved acting. I was going to school for firefighting, but then I ended up, moving my whole family out to LA, and I didn't know anyone, didn't know anything, didn't know nothing. It was back in the black and white headshot days. George will tell you about that, where you had to get your headshots, get them printed up 300, and you had to mail them out to whoever or go drive them somewhere and slip them through someone's door just to get an audition. And and that's how I started. And fast forward, 10 years of acting, then I got into producing and directing. George and I met on a project, and I told him I wanted to start doing films for the Lord.
Wow.
He was like, "That's crazy that you say that, because I have this testimony film that a testimony story that people have been telling him that he should turn into a film." And we started from page one. He actually wrote the whole thing. He called me 2 in the morning. Hey, what do you think about this? And it came together. George and I we got the locations ourselves, location by location. It took us, how many years to do the film, George?
Well, we started shooting in 2016.
Wow.
But we wrote it. Okay, so back in 2014, started writing it. 2015, it was done, and then 2016, we shot.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, you guys, on the other side of this break, I want you guys to really get into it, because we have a lot of people that will be coming on. In the curiosity, what happens in the background, what happens in the back scenes, because it's so many people, especially people that have been on Level Up, right? They have come on, they have so many stories, and they're like, wow, I know this story will, touch a lot of people. What do I do? How do I start? How do I get it out to the masses, especially on film? Mm-hmm. So you guys have accepted this invitation from us at the right time with the right people. I got to give a shout out to, there's our other sister station right there, Pat Nash, or Pat Nash Talks. So she's saying, hey, to Level Up Nation. Hello to you guys. Yes. Hey, Pat Nash, I just want to let you know, Rick Irvin has already kind of checked you out a little bit. See?
Right.
That's her right there, Rick.
I was just playing the part. I was acting.
Also, our diamond is in the house. There is Mary Goolsby. She's saying hello, good afternoon, family. And let me go back to what Sally said. Check this out. So wait a minute, Rick, you said you were from where?
Seaside, California, yeah. So George and I, once we got the film finished, we screened it in Atlanta, as I think you guys know. We screened it in New Jersey. We screened it in my hometown of Seaside. We went to Arkansas. So we hit the ground running, and we did, self-promotion. We went out there and promoted the film. And so that's good that we have people. And Sal Garcia, he's
I was going to say Sal.
he's one of an associate producer on our film. So yeah, we had a great support system. Like my hometown was great. that, you know, the news stations covered it, the newspapers.
Wow.
They always cover anything I do. I love my hometown. Right now I'm in Fresno, California, and if I could afford to go back home, I would, but I
You would.
Yes. Yes.
Well, hey, listen, guys, we're going to go ahead and take our first break. And when we come back, hey, listen, please do this, Level Up Nation. I know you guys are already in. We've got several people that are already watching. Do one thing for us. First of all, say hello so we know that you're there. Second, go ahead and share this out. You never know. We may have a future filmmaker that needs to watch all of this conversation.
Yeah.
So let us do this. We're going to head on the break. We'll come back and have more conversation with George and Rick. Well, you're listening and watching Level Up, real talk that takes you higher. I am your host, Angee from the B. We'll be right back.
J-Town.
Yeah. Mike Jesus. Yeah. One time for the independent women that's doing their own thing and killing the boss game. Working all night, pursuing a life change while putting my God first and praising his high name. I say, little mama, gon' do that there. But the people hating on you, tell them we don't care. We gon' watch God work as they stop and step, and you'll be coming out the fire with the flawless hair. Yeah. But first you gotta love yourself, cause if you ain't trying to do it, then who else gon' care? Real talk, grab a mirror, gon' look real deep. Come, I got his top notch, he don't make nothing cheap. See, I'm looking for a woman that ain't scared to shine, who is led by a king that is so divine. I took some time to vibe, what I feel is true. A salute to all women that are going through. I love you. Cause I'm looking for a girl like, looking for a girl like, looking for a girl like, looking for a girl like you. Yeah, I'm looking for a girl like, looking for a girl like, looking for a girl like, looking for a girl like you. So many women with potential, the mental is on point. Went to school and got the job, and you were great, my girl. This right here is your joint. Life is hard, I know true, but you gotta step back, let the Lord be your guidance. He'll lead your path and everything that you ask for, then gon' run a little right. That's right. Go ahead, love, I'ma get out your seat. Stand firm and plant your feet. Tell the world you playing for keeps. And I'ma watch you stand tall like a tree. Can't nobody else live your life for you. So tell them all you bout to move. I try to guide us busting through. And ain't nobody gon' stop at you, a chosen few. Cause I'm looking for a girl like, looking for a girl like, looking for a girl like, looking for a girl like you. Yeah, I'm looking for a girl like, looking for a girl like, looking for a girl like, looking for a girl like you.
These insecurities showing more vividly. And the works of the devil is more stupidly. And the blessing wasn't really coming expeditiously. Sometimes I gotta be pretty. Man, R.I.P. Devil, let my heart go so I can be free. If I sleep with my eyes closed so I can have pretty dreams. Or to go to nachos I eat just to fall asleep. Just to wake up out my dreams and still be depressed to weep. Use another source to be happy. Who can relate to me? But you gotta remember that God got you like a key. It's up to me to set free my impurities. And it's up to me to carry myself like a queen. And when you give up on yourself, you defeat it mentally. I don't have to be good for nobody except for me. And when you focus on negativity, you blinded and insufficient minded with the devil's right behind you. And when you in the midst, man, God will always find you.
Cause I'm looking for a girl like, looking for a girl like, looking for a girl like, looking for a girl like you. Yeah, I'm looking for a girl like, looking for a girl like, looking for a girl like, looking for a girl like you.
This is recording artist Bertrand McKinney, aka Birdie, and you're listening to CHH Jams, where the bars come from the word. Y'all keep it locked.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, that's right. This is Orlando Presents right here on CHH Jam Presents. Make sure y'all tune in every Sunday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 6 p.m. Central Standard Time, and check out our new show, CHH Jam Presents, right here on The Real Level Up. Let's go, y'all. Let's level up, level up. Let's get it. CHH Jam Presents.
Don't touch that dial. Just chill for a while. Keep it locked with my man Tony D. into something new, something you're not used to. It's fresh and guaranteed to bless. New Artist Profile. Yeah, it's a new day with a new sound. Keep it locked, you're listening to the new Artist Profile. Thank God for music. New music on the radio. Artist Profile.
They said it was wrong to promote me, that I wasn't ready, that I would fail.
Those who have betrayed me must pay.
You're the first black agent. Don't be the last.
Revenge is all I have left.
The CIA cannot get involved, so you're on your own.
Aren't we all?
I'm a man who gets what he wants.
Just get me the money. You have 24 hours.
Justice should be for everyone. Administer Justice is a faith-based organization that has joined with Lakewood Church of Hope to bring legal assistance and, in addition, many other resources to service the community. As believers, serving is a part of who we are in Jesus Christ. For more information, register at www.administerjustice.org.
Hey everyone, this is Pat Nash with Pat Nash Talks, and you're listening and watching Level Up, real talk that takes you higher. Lock in every Sunday right here from 3 to 5, where you will hear extraordinary stories from ordinary people.
This is Kimberly Howell with Angel Wings Music Presents. Listen or watch Level Up each and every Sunday from 3 to 5. Keep it locked right here.
Heads up, Level Up Nation. At 6 p.m. Eastern, we have the new artist profile with Tony D. At 7 p.m. Eastern, CHH Jams Presents with Orlando and Kimberly. At 9 p.m. Eastern, Pat Nash Talks with Pat Nash. Coming in November is Dr. Kari Listens. Stay tuned, Level Up Nation.
And welcome back to Level Up, real talk that takes you higher. I am your host, Angee from the B. Welcome back, everyone. And thank you guys for hanging out with us this beautiful Sunday afternoon. Hey, I just want to give some shout outs to some people who have just tuned in. We've got our other sister station in the house. That is Kelly Hawkins, and she will also be coming in November. You guys don't want to miss any of the shows that follow right behind us. You know what I'm saying? Right behind us. Kelly will be coming in on 5 o'clock. Once again, I'm going to tell you again that Tony D will be on at 6. CAHH Jams will be on at 7. And we round everything off with Pat Nash Talks at 9 p.m. Eastern. All right, you guys, let's get right into
Angee,
our conversations.
Before we do, I just want to say
Scribe,
that.
what's up?
No, I just want to say that in that clip of the Into the Diamond, I love George just sitting at the table, relaxing, so cool. You know, as the gang leader, and how he's just like he's eating off a piece of fruit and stuff. I guess the guy did the wrong thing because George just took him out.
Well, wait a minute, George. Since he already brought that up, let's talk about that one. Because really, I want to give a shout out to Grace Hendy, our amazing producer for
Yes.
Level Up. She is the reason why all of this is happening right here. She's the producer of this particular show. And you know how you and I met was through your good friend Bob. Let's give him a shout out. What's up, Bob?
Absolutely. To Bob Barrowall. He's amazing human being, let me tell you.
Wow. Well, when I first met him through Grace, I mean, you know what was so amazing about all of you guys? First, your humility. You know, you guys, are doing the work, that so many people can love and enjoy. You know what I mean? So many people will have an opportunity to view your work. There are people who do work and only the boss sees it. You know what I'm saying? So the work that you do are for audiences, and we kind of touched on that in our pre-show as well. That when you're doing this kind of work for many eyes to see, you want to make sure that that story is believable. You want to make sure that what they're seeing on the screen, that's you acting. It's about acting, you guys. And some people will kind of screw that. So what I love about what you guys are doing, Rick and George, is that you guys have taken this industry by storm and said, "Hey, I'm more than an actor. I have stories that I want to tell." And voila, we have heavily deposit, which I know that's not going to be the only thing you guys are going to be working on. So I want to talk about all the stuff you guys are doing, and just what it is, what it's like to be an actor, producer, director. You guys are doing it. I love it.
Uh, if I may, what I'd like to do is correct the record first and foremost. For all my Jersey peeps out there, I forgot to mention that I went from New York to New Jersey, and I grew up there. But I was so excited that Nolan said that he's from the Bronx that I was like, yeah, the Bronx. But so to all my Jersey peeps, love you guys. Best times growing up out there in Oradell, New Jersey, that area. So anyway, to get to what you just said, Angee,
Yeah.
being an actor, I think, is a way of life. It's a way of life because once you commit to it,
Yeah.
you really don't have the luxury to split your focus to say, hey, I'm going to do this and do that and do that and I'm going to act. No, being an actor really takes a mindset that is totally just focusing on the career, the training, right? And the good thing about today is that we all have cameras. We all have something that we can train. I spent, Ricky knows this, I spend my time when I'm at home working on camera work, taking a script, looking at it, trying to memorize it, put it on film. And then I watch myself because at the end of the day, it's like you have to constantly keep working.
Yeah.
And maybe I'm just saying there's some tough times when COVID came in, we were stuck in home.
Ooh.
So there was what are you going to do? Where's your class? You can do it maybe online too, but that came after. So in the meantime, basically you have to be a go-getter, a self-starter, and it takes focus and it takes an unwillingness to give up.
Wow.
So
Wow.
that I believe in, capsules what I believe acting is all about, is that it's a lifestyle.
It's a lifestyle. What do you have to say, Rick? What's your thoughts?
Absolutely what George said, and I mean, we couldn't emphasize this anymore. I mean, if it was easy, everyone, not everyone, but most people probably make a movie, right? Everyone, if you talk to the average person in the street, they have a movie idea. I have people sending me stuff all the time, but it takes it's a lifestyle. You can't give up on a lifestyle, but something you have to heart and soul, and you have to have a why. You have to have a why, and for me, there's no better why than Jesus Christ. So that's my why. It wasn't always my why. And then once it became my why, I adjusted to that, and that's what keeps me going, because it's not easy. It's not easy, even when you learn how to make films or act or anything. It's as an actor, you walk through 200 doors before you get one yes. That actor that puts that post on Facebook, hey, I got this role. Guess how many times he was told no? Guess how many times he had to go home and question, and then go back to that job, and then even when you do get a role, sometimes the movie isn't done well. It's not done well, and then people are looking at it. It's just one of those things where you just have to have thick skin. You have to have thick skin. You got to have heart. You have to have passion, and you have to have a why. What's making you go through all this? Because it's not it's not an easy thing to make. You know, be an actor, be a producer, to be anything that is this business, and then you have to navigate. You know, especially if you're a married man, you got to navigate. You got to be. You got to make the right decision. You know, and like I said, you get a role that you might not agree with the film. You might not agree with the film, but that might be the role of the book. So let's say it's something that goes against your political, your religious beliefs, but you still book the role. What are you going to do? Then your moral compass comes in.
Hey Rick, let me stop you right there. You may need to put on some earphones because your sound is going in and out. Do you have some earphones you can connect into?
I'll see what I can do.
Okay. All right. While
Internet,
he's doing that, George, we're gonna switch over back to you. Did you? I see your eyes moving, and your head shaking. That you got something to kind of back Rick up on that.
I was backing you up, basically saying Rick needs he's cutting in and out. but yeah, no. You know, it's again exactly what Ricky said. You know, you have to have your why, all that stuff. But really, there has to be a deep desire to do this. There has to be that. If it isn't there, I feel bad for the person because they're doing it for all the wrong reasons. You know, you have to find the joy in being able to create, you know, whether it's taking someone else's words and making it your own, whether it's making a film, whether it's writing something. It's like you have to find the joy in the creating of it and the time that it takes to make it. You know, so it doesn't happen overnight.
Got you.
Lord knows it doesn't happen overnight.
Got you.
And I wanted to say also too is you guys got me excited, George, because about maybe 3.5, 4 years ago, I started doing voiceover, started doing the research, creating my own home studio, and right now trying to save the finances to get a demo done. And I think I found a couple of groups to do that. But like is what you're saying is you audition, you don't hear anything back, but you stick with it. Similar to, I know you've done voiceovers before and doing film, the financing, the acting part. You got so many hats that you have to wear, but I'm understanding the dedication and commitment just doing just voice. It's voice acting. So I'm learning a lot about that and how to take a script and interpret. So I'm learning a lot of different things. And you and Rick, when we had you on the show, that was kind of my beginning journey into that. So I want to thank you guys.
Oh, no worries. I think we lost Rick to like a black hole.
Well, no. Well, no, he'll be able to come back. We'll bring him back on stage.
Okay, good.
All set and done. But I want to basically even what Pat Nash was saying. He's saying once we find our why, focus and dedication make it work. Just want to thank you guys for even saying stuff like that because the one thing that I do notice about this is probably across anybody who wants to do these things on their own. Let's talk about entrepreneurship, because it takes a dedication that even your family do not understand. They don't understand why you are still at it. This is not making any money. Why are you still doing it? I have found this though, George. I have found that once my passion turned into purpose.
Yes.
There was nothing anybody else could say to me, George. I literally had to find what I love Pat Nash taught me. Find your tribe.
Yeah.
Once you find your tribe of people, they will be the ones to encourage you. They will be the ones to understand your ups and your downs without judgment.
Yes.
Because I think a lot of the things that we all go through with what we have been gifted to do, because that's the other thing that I see with you guys, with people who are acting, you are already using your gift for the glory. Mm-hmm. And I I admire people like you, George, because you guys are putting it out there for so many people to watch and even judge. You know what I'm saying? But you keep going. So, kind of speak on that, George.
For sure, for sure. Just to get back to the why too.
Yeah.
You know, I'll be honest with you. Heavenly Deposit would have never been written if it wasn't for the why, right? So let me just touch into this area for a bit. You know, there was the way the movie came about was because there were trials in my life with my wife and stuff, and at a time back in 2009, remember the whole housing crisis? People were
Yes.
you know, it was just a rough time. As a matter of fact, if you look around nowadays, things are coming back in the sense that it's, you know, tough times again. So what happened was that there was a literally, you know, it was just we were losing our home to foreclosure. You know, my wife had a health issue, health scare, and what happened was that I ended up, you know, we were trying to do whatever it could to stay afloat, to pay that, you know, the notice of default so we don't get the house taken away and all these things. And seriously, what happened was that there was a moment in time that gave me hope and led me to Christ. So basically it was, and this whole thing wouldn't have happened if I didn't experience something, right? Welcome back, Ricky. So
hey.
So my point is, it was the why was so strong for me because the moment that what happened was that there was this thing, that experience that showed me that God was really real, and that the hope that he gave me by really being able to reach out to him, you know, and get his assistance and help at that time, it just changed my life. It changed everything for me. And what I wanted to do was I wanted people to experience what I had experienced. The hope that God gave me, I wanted people to feel, right? So that was the first thing. So what I did was I just started telling people the story of what happened to me, and why really Heavenly Deposit came about. And I started telling them what happened wherever I was, and literally, you know, any coffee shop, any gas station. I was one of those guys that you're like, is this guy, you know, is he cracked out or what's going on? But all I wanted to do was give people hope. The way God gave me hope, I wanted to share that moment. And when, you know, you'll see the moment of what happened for me was very simply, we were trying to sell everything, whatever we could, to make our payment. We found out we weren't going to make it in time. You know, whatever money I had sold at that point, I literally was at home. We were like, I don't know, like $800 short of making the payment, or something. It was some amount that we couldn't do it. And what happened was that I'm in my house. In the movie, it's different, but I'm in the house and I heard a voice say, "Go to the bank." Now, maybe you could say I'm losing my mind, but I didn't move on it. And then I heard the voice again, "Go to the bank now." And it was so powerful, so strong, that I said to myself, I literally heard it. So I just got in the car, took the money that I had. It was actually $2,400. That's what it was at the time. And we were still short, like I said, by at least 800. And I went to the bank. It was after hours. And as I pull into the parking lot, there's only one car in the parking lot. It's after hours. I open the door to get in, because you can get in using your, you know, your bank card. It opens the door, and you're only available in that area, not the main part of the bank, but where you can deposit. There was a gentleman there, and he had his back to me. He was leaning on this counter where you can, you know, the desk, you know, where you can write out your deposits and everything. And I remember I didn't want to scare the gentleman, so I go, "How you doing?" And he turns around, he looks at me, and he goes, "Better now that you're here." And I looked at him and I go, "Thanks."
Wow.
I said, "Thanks." I said, "No one's ever greeted me like that before." And he goes, "Well, if you can't be nice to someone now, when can you be?" He goes, "There's always heaven." And I looked at him, I was like, yeah, all right. You know, kind of like, whatever. So he said, "You have a good day." He leaves. I deposit the money, and as I'm walking out, I look through the door, and I could see him leaning on the back of my car. And I thought this gentleman was having a heart attack or something. So I literally ran out over to him, and I go, "You all right?" And he goes, "Yeah." He goes, "This your car?" And I said, "Yeah." He goes, "It was rolling backwards. I just stopped it." So literally, it was only two cars in the parking lot, mine and his, and you can't tell from a distance where the cars are parked, perfectly in their spaces. But as I got closer, I was like, "Oh my goodness!" So I got in, I pulled the car forward, I put the brake on, and he says to me, he goes, "You got a minute?" And I said, "Yeah." And he goes, "When I saw you inside, I thought you were the one. But now that this is your car, I know it's you." And I looked at him and I said, "Okay." I said, you got my attention." And he goes, "I was on this property and I was pulling out the sign," and he points over to his car. There's the sign sticking out. And he goes, "I was pulling that sign out of a property. And God told me to come here and tell the man everything is going to be okay." And he goes, "And now I know that is you." And so that started the ball rolling. By the time it was all said and done, I mean, he literally took me by the hands. We prayed.
Wow.
And he basically, basically said, "Are you willing to accept Jesus as your Lord and Savior?" At that point in time, I wasn't, meaning because I didn't, I was just basically relying on myself for things.
Yeah.
So all I'm saying is that it was one of those things where I was always constantly relying on myself. I wasn't turning to God. It wasn't like I was one of those guys that was like against God. No, I just was like, look, you know what? My dad died when I was a young kid. It hurt me because I prayed that he never was healed. And so I figured he was too busy for me. And ever since that day, at that point in my time, I relied on myself to get things done. But at that point, I had hit rock bottom. I had no one to turn to. And when this individual, or whatever you want to call it, angel, whatever, gave me the chance to accept Christ, he filled me with so much hope that literally I wanted people to experience it. And that was my why. So long story short, that led to me talking to people. Eventually, one day, I ended up talking to an individual who turned out to be a minister. And he said to me, he goes, "This story is so powerful, you have to make it into a film and share it with the world."
Golly.
And I never thought of that. I don't know.
Right.
So, and I'm an actor. I've been an actor since 1991. So literally, when that happened, there you go. That got the ball rolling. And then from there, I met up with Ricky, and here we go. I mean, so it was one of those things that it was meant to be. And my why was so strong to make this that we ended up making it, getting it out to the world. Literally, we got it out to North America, right? So Canada, US, and then we got foreign distribution on it too. So, this was all by God's hand and God's divine plan. But it took me to get into action, right? And he brought all the right people together.
Wow. Oh my God. Look, and Sal is saying, when is Heavenly Deposit 2 coming? Listen, we're gonna do a campaign on it, Sal. We want to. Listen, you guys, we're already to our next break. When we come back, Rick, be ready, my brother, because hey, we want to know the connection from George from this story, from this testimony. This is so powerful, you guys. From this testimony that it became a film and how it greatly, touched you to do what you're doing. Because listen, my brother, I have been so encouraged already by the two of you because I know the power of two. So I know, George, that it's important to find that person that you need to connect in with to make sure that this comes to fruition. And so, Rick, your turn on the other side of this break, my brother. Be ready. Where you're listening and watching. Level Up, Real Talk that takes you higher. I am your host, Angee from the B. We'll be right back.
This your boy, Tony D. And I'm about to throw you back to the 90s. Yeah.
let me count the ways. 1, 2, cause what you do for me stretches for days and days. Never have I felt a love that was strong as this. That's why I long to be around you, never a day I miss. The way you show me love is never ending. So on this special day for you, my knees I'm bending. To tell you that I love you with a warm embrace. No one else could ever do, no one could take your place. But simply saying I love you may not be enough. So I hope my actions show you show it's not a bluff. Cause my desire is to be with you from years to come. No one else has my heart, you're my only one. This is my love song. I love you, I love you.
Yeah. One time for the independent women that's doing their own thing and killing the boss game. Right. Working all night, pursuing a life change while putting my God first and praising his high name. I say, little mama, gon' do that there. But the people hating on you, tell them we don't care. We gon' watch God work as they stop and step. And you be coming out the fire with the flawless hair. Yeah. But first you gotta love yourself. Cause if you ain't trying to do it, then who else gon' care? Real talk, grab a mirror, gon' look real deep. Cause my God is top notch, he don't make nothing cheap. See, I'm looking for a woman that ain't scared to shine. Who is led by a king that is so divine. I took some time to vibe, what I feel is true. A salute to all women that are going through. I love you. Cause I'm looking for a girl like, looking for a girl like, looking for a girl like, looking for a girl like you. Yeah, I'm looking for a girl like, looking for a girl like, looking for a girl like.
Have you ever felt like no matter how hard you tried, things just still go wrong?
Many times.
What do?
I let go and let God.
All I'm asking from you is to bump up our credit limit to where it was.
It's declined.
We're experiencing some financial hardships at the moment.
You have 6 days to make payment.
I can't believe this is happening.
You know, I never asked you to pray with me.
It's you and me. We got this. God wants to help you, Peter.
Excuse me?
But you're not letting him in.
I did once. Last time we spoke, you took a man away from me I loved dearly. From that day, I swore to take matters into my own hands. But I don't know what to do.
I know that you don't believe, but I will pray for you.
I love you so much.
Copy more.
It was a miracle. You believe in miracles?
Listen, if you need me, you call me. All of the angels in heaven are rejoicing. You gotta know that everything is gonna be okay.
Hey, this is George Vincent from the Faith Film Heavenly Deposit. Level up with me and Angee from the B every Sunday from 3 to 5 p.m.
This is Rick Irvin, producer and co-director of the film Heavenly Deposit. Real talk that takes you higher. Level up on Sundays 3 to 5 p.m. Ordinary people with extraordinary stories.
Hey, this is Chef Eli of Croxton Cuisine. Keep it locked right here as we level up, giving a voice to the unvoiced with real talk that takes you higher. Ordinary people with extraordinary stories.
Heads up, Level Up Nation. At 6 p.m. Eastern, we have the new artist profile with Tony D. At 7 p.m. Eastern, CHH Jams presents with Orlando and Kimberly. At 9 p.m. Eastern, Pat Nash Talks with Pat Nash. Coming in November is Dr. Kari Listens. Stay tuned, Level Up Nation.
And welcome to Level Up, real talk that takes you higher. I am your host, Angee from the B. Welcome, welcome, welcome back, everyone. And thank you guys for hanging out with us this beautiful Sunday afternoon. All right, we're going to jump right back into our conversation with Rick Irvin and George Vincent. And we are really talking about, you guys, life behind the scenes. Really, what really goes on with a filmmaker, huh? So, Rick,
Yeah.
I know. Look, you're like, man, where do you want me to begin?
Wow. When you said that, so many things popped in my head. It's like, it's a lot. Yeah.
Well, first of all, you guys met up. Was it this particular project, Heavenly Deposit? Is that where you guys met up, or was that the first time you worked together? How did it all happen?
Great question. I was producing a film of another individual, and actually it was a series. We were doing a series, and he cast George as one of the lead actors. I hadn't met George. I had seen him, I'd seen his pictures. I'd seen him before. Like, Hollywood is small. there's a community of us actors trying to be up and comers, doing our thing. We all kind of hover around the same area. The acting classes are all in a kind of it's a small community for such a big place. And you start hearing people's names. But George got cast, and we met on set. I was producing. It was something I wasn't acting in. No, I was acting in it. But I met George, and I forgot the exact conversation we had, but we kind of we said something to each other, and we said so we knew that we had an instant connection right there.
Similar ideas.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. We were thinking. Yeah, it was some similar ideas we had that we agreed on that aren't too probably popular or whatever. And so then later, we became friends, and we got to know each other, what each other was working on throughout this other project. After that project was done, George and I stayed in touch, and I was supposed to work on another film that George was a part of. He was acting in, and that was around the time that I decided to only do films for the Lord. So I didn't show up. I fell back. I lost a lot of friends, and that I was working with before because it was like I just took myself out. I'm not going to do this anymore. I'm going to only do films for the Lord, and
right.
So then George was like the only person that called me to see where I was. These are guys I have been working with for years. I didn't show up to set. No one missed me except for George. He called. He said, "Hey man, what's going on?" I said, "Hey man, I said let's meet up for coffee," because George was a cool guy. So I said, "Let's meet up." We met up for coffee. I told him what was on my heart, what had been tugging away at me, and that's when George shared his story. He was like, "You know what?" And it was funny because I was working on another project that I wanted to be my first faith film. But when George told me his testimony, I was like, forget that. I said, "Dude, do you have a script?" He was like, "No, I'm just, I just been sharing this with everyone." I said, "Man, you need to make that a script now. Like, when can you start? Like, what's going on? Let's go." So he immediately, and we've been like Amos and Andy ever since. Like, the next 4 years or whatever it was, we were just together working on this film. Getting, like I said, getting the locations and stuff. Let me rewind back to what got me to that point. So I told you at the beginning, I moved here with my family and all that. And then now I grew up watching horror films. I love scary movies. So I was always watching. So that's kind of what made me want to go into acting. Like just being infatuated with these horror movies. And so I was able to start doing those. I got cast in a bunch of horror films. I became the number 2 black guy to die in all horror films in the world. Like, and that record still holds. I'm still number 2. No. Yeah, I have the second most deaths out of any actor, except Tony Todd's number 1. Tony Todd, Candyman.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
I mean,
who's actually a friend of mine, Candyman. Tony Todd, he's a good guy. I'm number 2. Anyways, my daughter was like, "Dude, like, I can't watch any of your films. When are you gonna do something I can watch?"
Wow.
And that resonated with me. That really resonated with me. And
I get it.
So I prayed about it. I said, "God, actors, it's just a job, and I'm sitting there trying to convince myself that it's okay to do these kind of things. Maybe it is for some people, but that's not the journey God wanted me on." So, but I didn't know that at the time. I was praying. I was like, "God, is it okay for me to do these kind of movies?" I said, "Let me know." My wife told me, she's like, I was like, "But Denzel does this, and Angela Bassett did this movie, and she goes to our church. It should be okay for me to do certain, to do these projects. And my wife's like, pray on it. I prayed on it. And right after I prayed on it, there was a horror movie actor that I had been wanting to work with for forever. He finally calls me. I'm at the point now where I've died in so many movies. They're just calling me, giving me parts. I don't even have to audition, right?
Wow.
So yeah. So this guy called me up. B movies, of course, you know, but they have a following. You know, they have a following just like anything else.
Okay.
And so I got this script. I can't. I don't want to tell what it is, but I don't want to bust anyone out. But anyway,
no.
Long story short, it was blasphemous. The film was blasphemous. And after that prayer, that was God clearly drawing the line in the sand. I had wanted to work with this guy. Remember this forever. I was a fan of this guy.
I get it.
I'm his friend. I've been over his house. Like, I started off meeting this guy, getting his autograph. Now I'm his friend, and now he's calling me to be in his movie. So this is a progression of things that I thought I wanted. But when God offered me this film, it was a clear no. And here I am having to tell one of my heroes, no, I can't do this.
Wow.
It was surreal. Like, I finally got to this point where I thought I wanted to be, and then I had to then turn down the guy that I got an autograph from probably like 5 years earlier, you know? So
wow,
that happened. They stopped talking to me. A bunch of other situations happened where I lost some friends that were in that, you know, doing those kind of movies. But yeah, after that prayer, yeah, that was the test. That was the line in the sand. God was like, okay, let's, you know, and you know, I like to think that I passed it with flying colors because I just fell back. I just stopped doing all that other stuff. I said, Lord, I said, that was a clear test. That was a clear, you know, I want to work for you. I don't care how long it takes to make the next film.
Wow.
I didn't know, you know, where George was with it. I didn't have anyone at the time. I went back to square one, not knowing anyone doing faith films or anything like that. So something told me, just meet up with George. Just don't tell him over the phone. Meet up with him. So George was super cool. And once he told me his story, I was like, let's go. And I couldn't ask for a better partner. The guy was amazing. It's crazy because George and I, you know how like you work with a partner and you're not always going to agree on things, and that's just the nature of any business or any project or anything you're doing, especially
yeah, no, but I call that iron sharpens iron. That's what I call it.
Yeah. Now, especially as creatives, right? But in this case, George and I, like, we were like this, man. We fit everything we agreed on. I can't remember anything that we really had a problem agreeing on that, you know, he was like, let's do. I was like, yeah, I like that, you know, or vice versa. Anything. It was like, man, it just all fell into place for us. The film, and you know, like the Bible says, when two or more come together in the name of the Lord, you know. And also, I was thinking that I had wasted all these 10 years doing these horror films, and now I want to do this, you know, it's like a basic career path change, but there's nothing wasted. You know, everything is done in the glory of God. You might not know it until hindsight, but working on all those horror films, I learned how to make movies. I learned how to produce films. I learned how to be a line producer. I learned how to go through SAG. I learned how to do all these things in order to make the film. So I actually went to the School of Hard Knocks for those 10 years in order to work for the Lord from that point forward. I didn't get, you know, it didn't make sense to me when it happened, when I started losing those people that I had been working with for those 10 years. But it all made sense when me and George got together and were on the red carpet watching Heavenly Deposit. It was awesome. It was worth it. And like George would tell you, man, when the first person called us and said that they got saved and their whole family got baptized, like I was in the car crying, like, man, because the tears it was not just, I mean, that's why I wanted to do this, because just one soul saved, I would have did it all over again. Just one person finding salvation was worth it for me. You know, one person not going to hell is worth it. But
Rick, you got a question already from Pat Nash. She said, did George come after you let go of others and trust God?
Yeah, yeah. And what's funny is right around the time I was praying about that, I was working on that. I was already in the process of working on this project where I met George. But right after we finished that project, that's when I got offered that film to act in that was real blasphemous. And I had just finished the project with George, and I said, I can't do this. And no one called me. All those people that I work with, all those friends I had, they just disappeared. They just disappeared. The only one to call me was George, who I knew like the least amount of time, just to check on me. He just wanted to check on me. Hey man, are you good? Are you okay? You're not on set. You know, we've been looking for you. And yeah, so
you got another question? Listen, they're coming in now. So this is from Sally Lewis. By the way, Pat Nash said, thanks so much, my brother. That happened to her as well. Oh, man. Look at there. Yeah. So Sally Lewis is that, did you show Heavenly Deposit at Greater Victory Temple in Seaside, California?
Yes, we did. I think it was the last screening we had was in my hometown of Seaside, California. And George and I went and we had a good time. You know, George got to see my hometown. I got to see his hometown. So it was awesome. It was really a good experience, you know, and you know, the support I had from people at home, phenomenal. I love all my friends from growing up. I mean, I love them all, and they all supported. I mean, I got off of Facebook for 5 years. COVID happened. I disappeared. I told George, hey man, I can't do that. I have to get off. Like when COVID hit, there was a lot of crazy posts, people online arguing. There was a bunch of crazy stuff going on. I needed a break. Moved to Fresno. I got fat. I started golfing. So I took a break. I was working on scripts, but so I was working on projects. But that time, you know, a lot of stuff was going on with SAG and acting and the union guild. You know, there was a lot of adjustments being made because of COVID. So, and then we had a bunch of strikes. You know, I know George, he can tell you more about that because it slowed down a lot of auditions and things slowed down. I mean, it was a lot of crew members and actors. It just, there was no work, you know. So the past 4 years has been pretty
heavy for you guys.
Pretty heavy for us. So
wow.
But yeah, I've been working on some stuff, and we also we're excited for the future. I'll just say that.
What do you have to say, George? All these accolades. I mean, wow. Did you know?
You know, I think when you know when the right people are in your camp.
Yes, sir.
Period. And and you know what? It was just the way things were happening. You know, when we made the film, just people, friends, high school buddies who came out of the woodwork to help us with funding. I mean, it was just, you know, the hardest thing, as Ricky mentioned, funding. And I can tell you stories of some terrific individuals, like guys that, like I said, guys I grew up with, people who I met recently, you know, out here in California, who, you know, were able to help us with funding. Like I said, it was meant to be made. We did the work, and literally God opened all the right doors to the right people and the right venues. And you know, even when it came to, I'll give you an idea. There's this wonderful lady from, again, there's a gentleman who was just on before. His name is Sal. And Sal, we met at the, you know, what was it called? It was one of those events. It was like where they were faith singers there. What was it called?
It was a Christian event at Angel Stadium.
There you go.
In Anaheim. I forgot the pastor's name. It's at the tip of my tongue. But it was a huge event. A bunch of Christians got together and they filled up Angel Stadium. And I'll let George,
and the point is, you know, this gentleman came out of nowhere on our, you know, Instagram account or Facebook account, whatever it was. You know, he saw the movie, liked it or whatever it was. There was something about it. We were talking about the movie, and he was so just easy to talk to, nice guy. And anyway, we ended up going there to meet him at Angel Stadium, and he didn't think that we were going to show up, right? And we did. And long story short, it's like another way how God just brought us together, and He helped put some money into the movie Heavenly Deposit.
Wow.
Somebody you just met who was willing to do that. That does not happen, not naturally, you know. And then there's this other great story. I'll tell you, my two dear friends from back east just blew my mind by putting money into this account, you know, money into Heavenly Deposit, and it was all just to help me succeed. That's what they said. We just want to see
Wow.
succeed. And that was substantial money I'm talking about. All right. And
Right.
there was this one individual out here at my church that I was going to, who I literally made a pitch one Sunday, and I said, hey, look, you know, we're making this film. Whatever you'd like to help us with would be great. And if you can't, we'd love your prayers. That's it. Pray for us. Pray for us for it all to go well. And at the end of the 5-minute, 8-minute pitch, two people came up and then they gave us, you know, checks, which was really nice. But to be honest with you, on this, you know, when it happened, I was like, wow, man, I must have really, you know, did a bad job of sharing the information, because 2 out of like about 150 people there, I was like, wow, that was bad. But no, the people came up and said, you know what, we're going to pray for you. And I said, thank you. That to me was just because they were genuine about it.
Yeah.
Anyway, they prayed for us. The next week, there was an individual who said, hey, how did your, you know, the pitch go for the people? And I said, let's just say we got a lot of prayers coming. And he starts laughing. He goes, come here. He said, I want to introduce you to somebody. Okay. He introduces me to this individual. And she goes, I'd like to see the trailer. And I said, okay. Well, she wants a trailer. And she goes, I'm going to help you. That evening, money came into our Indiegogo account, right? We were collecting money through Indiegogo. And it blew my mind. And it was a substantial amount. And again, it's like God was opening up all the right doors. And she turned out to give us more down the road. And she became an executive producer on
Executive producer. Right.
Yeah. I'm just saying, it was great, amazing doors that God was opening for us. And
golly,
you know, we couldn't have done it without these wonderful people.
Yeah.
Wow. What say you, Mr. Scribe?
No, it just shows you how when you step out on faith, even though it's difficult, you lose friends, and we're all emotional. We all are in these shells of bodies that we have, and it's gonna play with your mind. Like, wow, am I really? But when God shows you what you can do, it kind of erases all of that. And then when you move forward, you're bolder, and not in an arrogant sense. You're bolder because you know, all I have to do is ask my Heavenly Father, and He'll take care. If I do what I need to do, or what He's being obedient, He'll take care of everything else. And George just spoke to that. He said, once that started, he just kept doing what he was doing. He kept meeting people come, and then he's acknowledging in his mind. It's hard to fathom sometimes. Wow, this is how God, because a lot of times He does stuff, it amazes us because we understand He could do it all, but when He actually does it, it's a whole different perspective.
Ooh, well, listen, you guys, we got to take our break. I love what Mary Goolsby said. Look at how God works when we are obedient to His will. Come on, Mary Goolsby. Thank you, girl, for jumping in with that comment right there. Well, listen, we're going to take our last and final break during this time. If you guys want to share this information, please do. Please do. We're literally having a conversation on what it's like to be on the backside of filmmaking. All this month, you guys, we are talking about independent filmmakers, actors, producers. So if you know anyone that is in your friend group, please share this out. You never know who you are going to encourage to keep going. Well, you're listening and watching. Yes, Mr. Scribe.
No, I'm just going to hold my question until after the break, but I have a question for both Rick and George.
Hold that till after the break. You're listening and watching Level Up, Real Talk that takes you higher. I am your host, Angee from the B. We'll be right back.
myself, I'm yours completely. No, there's no place I'd rather be. Some time ago, I made this vow, and again I say yes, here and now. Yes, yes, I love you. I say yes. So I say yes, yes, I love you. I say yes. You say yes to me. I say yes to you. Even when I wanna go, I can't leave. You say yes to me. I say yes to you. Anywhere, everywhere, you're always right there with me. Yes, yes, I love you. I say yes, yeah.
Hello, everyone. This is Pat Nash of Pat Nash Talks, where we have the conversations that create real relationships. I'm here every single Sunday, 8 p.m. Central Time, 9 p.m. Eastern, and you can find us right here on Level Up Nation. See you then.
Hi, my name is Kelly Bryant, and I am the face of a type 2 diabetic. I am also the author of a book series called Numbers that is available on Amazon. Numbers is about how I used a low-carb diet lifestyle to get my numbers into non-diabetic range. I am living proof that it is possible to go from a 16.6 A1C to a 5.2. So let's kick type 2 diabetes one number at a time.
Hey, this is Gina A. Towns, and you're listening to Level Up Nation every Sunday, 3 p.m. Don't miss it.
Hey, this is George Vincent from the Faith Film Heavenly Deposit, and you are listening to Angee from the Bee and Mr. Scribe. Level Up every Sunday from 3 to 5 p.m.
Heads up, Level Up Nation. At 6 p.m. Eastern, we have the new artist profile with Tony D. At 7 p.m. Eastern, CHH Jams presents with Orlando and Kimberly. At 9 p.m. Eastern, Pat Nash Talks with Pat Nash. Coming in November is Dr. Kari Listens. Stay tuned, Level Up Nation.
And welcome back to Level Up, real talk that takes you higher. I am your host, Angee from the B. Welcome, welcome, welcome back, everyone. And thank you guys for hanging out with us this beautiful Sunday afternoon. Now, let me give you a forewarning. This is the last segment that we have the conversation with Rick and George. Now, listen, I know that there are a couple of you guys that you already told me, Angee, we just like to sit back and listen. But what if this time you took the opportunity to have a conversation with Rick and George while we have them? Now, when they go on larger stages, you guys, I'm not sure you're going to be able to do that. So you better get it in now. Anyway, so Mr. Scribe, you have your question. Go ahead, Mr. Scribe.
No, the only question I had is that both of you guys are now doing faith-based projects. How have you found the reception to it? Because we know what Hollywood's all about. That's a whole nother show. But how do you find your journey navigating on that platform level? Because we need more of those type of stories of redemption, of reconnecting with our relationship. And me being a believer would like to see a lot more of that, because we know what's being put out there. And I know that this is just a small segment, but how do you guys feel about what you're doing, where it's going? Do you see a growth? Do you see people of non-Christian faith, Christian faith kind of gravitating to what you guys are doing?
Ricky, go for it, man.
Yeah, for us, we're in different circles than the Hollywood circles, right? So and we are seeing more people coming to watching faith films, but as faith-based filmmakers, I think we need to be more creative. You know what I mean? We need to do more intriguing stories, that want to get your casual audience involved and make them want to watch it. There's a lot of faith films. When they first started, they were predominantly just for Christians. They would be like, the farmer on the bench talking to his granddaughter with a horse in the background, like, Jesus loves you, daughter. Like, everyone's not going to watch that. So and that's what I liked about Heavenly Deposit was it was like, to my knowledge at the time, it was the first kind of urban, based in Los Angeles, faith film about, a person going through it in LA, because if you watch most of them, they're like in the Bible Belt. They're filmed in the Bible Belt predominantly. And a lot of those are evangelists who are making Christian films. Well, we're Christians who happen to be filmmakers. So we came at it from a different perspective, different, quality. We really wanted to make a really good film. But yeah, we're seeing, there's always going to be a fan base for Christian films. But I'm working on some things that might not seem like a faith film at first, but in the end, they will see, like in hindsight, that the film is more of a Christian film at the end when they get the message of what I was trying to put out there. So yeah, it's a great it's a great thing, Christian films, and where they're going, they are getting better. They are getting bigger budgets, and for us in the business as these filmmakers, our thing is just we're dealing with distributors, investors and distributors. We don't have to be at the Hollywood parties to do what we're doing as filmmakers. So yeah, it's good. It's been good.
George?
Yeah, for me, Nolan, I would say, being an actor, first, then came the Christianity, and then, and so now I'm moving forward with both, right? And I am more open to, if the role calls for kissing someone or whatever, that, I respect everyone and their opinion and how they want to choose to do their careers. As an actor, if the scene calls to show the love between a husband and a wife, that's what it calls for. And I'm of the mindset that this is a role. Again, I'm not going to be, dropping my drawers, because that's up to whoever wants to do that. I have no desire to. Maybe when I was like, in my 20s, there was a whole different attitude there, you know. But now it's like, no, there's no reason to do that. As long as you're showing what the relationship is without being gratuitous and whatnot, I think that is my job. And I have such a great, loving, supporting wife who, she's very, just content with who she is. She knows that this is my career, and there's roles. No, to your point, there are roles out there that when I look through, if I get a chance to submit on my own, I'll submit for the ones that I see that are things that are A, challenging for me, and B,
Wow.
things that I would like to do, that are pretty clean, for the most. You know what I'm saying? From what I can see, whatever they give you in that little script breakdown. And there are times when somebody, say, if an agent, suggests, hey, here's a role, and you get it and you read it, you have to be truthful to who you are and to your beliefs, and say, hey, thank you, but I'm going to pass on this one. All right. And I think that's up to the individual. And at least for me, that's the way I would work it. If it's something that's gratuitous or something that is pushing a certain agenda that I'm not with, then I'm probably going to decline.
Yes. Hmm.
And that's the beauty of it, because you guys producing and directing, you guys, like you said, have that creative control. And the thing about
Yes.
it, there's a lot of different stories that people need to hear, but they need to see it differently, from a different perspective. Like, we'll have the action films and the horror films and things like that. But if you look at the Bible, there are all different kind of stories. There's stories about love, but there's also stories about war. We look in the
Yeah.
Old Testament, God obliterated different peoples. I mean, he had them go in and slaughter. So there's a two-sided thing.
Yes.
And people need to basically, the visual of the story. Okay, I give an example. I remember years ago when Mel Gibson made The Passion of the Christ.
Hmm.
And I went to see, and I've read the crucifixion in the Bible. We've got sermons on it. But that film, the way it was, the scenery and how it was shot, it definitely had an impact, and that power. And maybe he might not have been coming from that, but I know that if God is behind the project, it could have a tremendous impact on not just Christian people, but non-Christians as well, like Heavenly Deposit did, where it had an impact where somebody said, you know what, seeing this film, I want to accept Christ in my life. So you guys are opening the door, which I think is great, because some of these stories need to be told, especially in the times that we're living in, and we can't be afraid to share. Yeah, it's good news, but there's another side of the good news. If you turn your back and you reject, there's a lot of apocalyptic films that's out as well that show the rapture, that show all these different things, and it's opening up because people need to know. And this is just another medium to get the message out there.
I got to jump in real quick, Nolan, right after what you just brought up. It's funny how just on September 26th this year, just, a couple of weeks ago, whatever it was, we have a gentleman who wrote us, for the movie. And I just want to read what he said, which it was, blew my mind. It said, at the point in my life when I was crashing into rock bottom, God brought this wonderful film into my life. It helped me rise above the ashes and create the amazing life that I am now truly blessed and grateful for right now. This story is an inspirational light that will definitely brighten every viewer's life. God bless everyone involved in the making of this heartwarming and inspiring film. To me, the fact that we were able to give him hope, that was the whole point of this, and this speaks volumes. And this is just recent.
Yeah.
Wow, we've got a couple of let me get some of these comments in. First of all, Grace, Hendy said that Heavenly Deposit was real and genuine. And it was. It was real life stuff that a lot of us go through and get this, George, that we don't even want to talk about. We want to put it, we want to stuff it in. Oh, whatever happens in this house stays in this house. But I've never, I didn't grow up that way, nor do I even believe in something like that, because a lot of our testimonies, and that's what Heavenly Deposit was. It was a faith-based film of a testimony of a
Yes.
real life story
Yes.
that could teach someone else how to come up out of that.
Yep.
By the way, CHH Jams wants to know, how can I show it at my church? Go ahead.
Good question. I will. Yeah, I could always reach out to our distributor and go from there. you know.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, you're probably gonna have some people that's gonna ask now, okay, where can I see this film and where is it gonna be?
Yeah.
So when you have that answer, George, I would like for you to go back into our, let's see, where he coming from? Oh, he is coming from our YouTube channel.
Okay.
We are airing this on our YouTube channel, so if you can go back, any of you guys, if you have any of those answers, go back and answer that in the comment section. Also, we have Kimberly Howell that had a comment back when you guys were talking about the Passion. So many people criticize the Passion of the Christ.
Yeah.
Hollywood would not help Mel Gibson.
Yeah.
Paid for it out of his pocket, and God made it happen. What do you guys have to say about that one? That was a really huge film, faith-based, that he took a risk all the way around, even out of his pocket. What do you guys have to say about that? That was a good one. Thank you, Kimberly. Go ahead, Rick.
Well, we know Hollywood. We know what's up with Hollywood. At the end of the day, I don't need to elaborate too far. We all see what's going on. I'm not going to get, you guys already know. You see what's going on. So, these kind of films, certain films, whoever they are, don't want certain films made, right? And unless they know that there's some money behind it. So even if they pick up a film, it will be changed and it won't be biblically accurate. So what was so controversial about Mel Gibson's film? It was pretty accurate. It was pretty biblically accurate, which made them upset. So so Mel, you know what I mean? Mel put, by the way, I know Mel has had his issues or whatever, but he is my favorite film director. He did Hacksaw Ridge, which which was a Christian film. Actually, my favorite Christian film, because it was during war, like you were saying, Mr. Scribe. It was war about a soldier who would not fight, starring Andrew Garfield. So Mel Gibson also did that faith-based film. Yep. Mel kept it real. No matter what they say about Mel, his heart's in the right place, man. And we all have stories. We all have sin. But Mel, I love the fact that he said, I'm not going to be stopped. And he went through his own distribution line, and he financed it himself. And look, it paid off. God blessed him. Whether or not Hollywood. So then Hollywood saw, okay, there could be money in this thing, and then they made the film Noah, which I didn't watch, but I heard they had like rock giants, and that's not in the Bible. You know what I mean? So they took the Bible and then they made it into like Lord of the Rings or something, and it's just not supposed to be. So if you're going to do God's work, do it genuinely. Do it with your do it with your heart in the right place, because you're not fooling God. Now you might be doing it. Because I know some filmmakers are like, you know what, I was doing horror films, but you know what, that the Christian films are doing really good right now, and they want to make a Christian film. But a real Christian will watch that film and know that it wasn't coming from a genuine place, that the filmmakers weren't passionate about it. They were just in it for a money grab. So, kudos to Mel Gibson.
That's it. I'm with that. That's my answer. Kudos to Mel Gibson.
Look, he's not touching it, you see? So
no,
yeah.
You said everything. You said everything, Ricky. True.
Yeah. No, and it's we do understand, yeah, but what's understood does not have to be spoken of. So, we will forever be thankful for all of you who have stepped out on faith, and did the work. And like you said, Rick, it's getting better and better. I see it. I see the films that are coming out, Christian based films, and what it is, to your point, Rick, they're coming from the heart, and it's genuine. And like you said, we can't get past this. The budgets are getting bigger.
Yep.
And so when you have bigger budgets, I want Level Up Nation to know, anyone within the sound of my voice. Now understand, George, that we're also being listened to on chhjams.com. That's our radio affiliate, that have us on live right now. So that's why I'm saying, for the listeners and the watchers of this show right now, it matters about budgets. So when you see any of these independent filmmakers, and it's a film that you believe in, that you want to support, please go beyond the $10 that you would spend watching it. A lot of the filmmakers, independent filmmakers, also need that support monetarily beyond the $10. So if you can do this, I know this for a fact. I have you guys as my friends, but I have many other independent filmmakers who are trying to make their film happen, but it does take dollars and cents. It
Sure.
just does. So we've got maybe about 10 more minutes. Are there anything that you guys want our viewers and our listeners to know, especially as independent filmmakers? And do make that plea. You guys, no holds barred here. We are a family of believers, and we believe in those who are doing the will of God. Whether you're a filmmaker, whether you're singing, you're speaking, we're here, and we are here for you, George and Rick. And anytime, we really mean it. Anytime you guys want to come back on and let us know what we can do to help this platform, to God be the glory. And I want to shout out to all the other shows that are watching right now. That's Kimberly Howell, that's Orlando Page, that's Pat Nash Talks, that is I did see Kelly, Tony D. I saw all of it. We're all here to support anyone that is on any of our platforms. We are here to support. So I'm going to give you guys the rest of that time to make your plea, to let us know what it is we can do to help. Go ahead, George, starting with you.
All right, awesome. Just some things that I'm currently working on, and you were talking about indie filmmaking. So right now I have this interview show with my dear friend Bob Barrowall, and he's directing it, and we're bringing on people who are involved, whether they're producers, directors, actors, and we interview them, and so we get the backstory for them. And again, the show is catered to indie filmmaking, and it's called LA Institute Film Excellence. All right, so LA Institute Film Excellence, and it's on YouTube. And right now, the latest interview that will be coming out is with Ella Joyce, so who is an incredible talent, incredible. So that's one thing, and then the other thing, a shout out to a gentleman named Daryl Warren that I'm working with him on a movie. It's called Ghost of the Game. It's kind of along the lines of like a Field of Dreams. So I acted in that movie, and this gentleman directed it, and it's got a good faith undertone to it, without not heavy at all, just a little bit. But that we finished principal photography on that, so we're doing that. And then as far as anything else, again, Ricky's got his project that he's working on, and I'm grateful to be a part of that, and I'm excited. So I'm actually working on those lines as we speak.
Yeah.
That's it on my end. I just want to say thank you guys very, very much for this opportunity to spend this time with you, And anybody out there, I'll just leave with this. Anybody out there, if you're an actor, do it. Go 100%. Don't give it a timeline. Don't say I'm going to do it for 2 months, 2 years, or whatever. Really, go for it. Make it happen. And the way I look at it, even if you don't, something else will open up for you. That will make you very happy. So, thank you all.
Yeah,
Rick?
yeah. And to echo off of what George said, I've seen many actors come to LA and say, you know what, I'm gonna give it this 3 years. I'm young, I'm gonna give it 3 years and see what happens. Don't waste your time. It's a lifestyle. It's something that you gotta ride all the way to the end. If it's not in you, if it's not in your every fiber of being, just don't bother, because yeah, there's a lot to say. It's not easy. It's not easy. But going back to what George also said about the project that I'm working on, it's a film. It started off as a short film that me and a friend were working on, and the script, and COVID hit. People loved the script. I didn't tell George this. I sent the script to someone. A proofreader, and he was like, "Man, this is amazing. You should make this into a feature film. It's very complete." And so I spent several months. We went ahead and made it a feature film script. I send things to George because I know I'm going to get an honest answer. And he didn't know. I know I was going to get an honest answer because we keep it real with each other, and that's how friendship. Because if you love someone, you're going to tell them the truth, man, and that's right. In any instance, you know what I mean? Because you're hurting that person if you're not keeping it real with them, right? So I sent George the script. Or we already had him in mind for a role. He loved it. It's crazy because when he contacted me, I was actually kind of scared that he wouldn't like it, but I was. I'm not gonna lie. I was like, man,
be honest, Rick.
Bro, I was like, yo, I don't know if George, I don't know what he's gonna feel about this script. What I can say about it is the next film that I'm producing, and I don't want to say too much because I don't want to give anything away.
Hey, don't give away.
yeah. It's not your typical faith-based film. I'll say that.
Okay.
Okay. But it is something like, wow, that's kind of crazy. And I have a slate of other films that are really that we've been working on. There's over 10 film ideas in my production slate that I've been working on. Past few years, I've been helping people get distribution for films. Also, I went to Washington D.C., shot a film with another gentleman, which it did well, won awards. I produced for him. And helping people. I've predominantly just been helping people since Heavenly Deposit get their films together, and now I'll be working on this next one with George. But I would like to give filmmakers some thoughts, something to think about. If you're a person who's writing a script and you haven't made a film, or maybe you made 1 or 2 films, and you have a script and it's like something like 10 to 20 million or even more, it's good that you have that script, but it would behoove you to make a ultra low budget film, a script, something that you can shoot for very cheap. Because right now with the streaming platforms, you got Tubi, you got Freebie, you got Vudu, you got you got your Amazons. The thing is, you want to show people what you can do in order to get that big budget. A lot of people come to me, they send me scripts, and they've never done anything. We get their script tightened up, but it's like, if you have a script that requires a big budget, it's you can option it. You know what I mean? You can send it to a production company and they can option it off of you. You could probably still be a producer on it, credit wise and all that. But the thing about that, if you're very passionate about that script, and they option it, they can make the changes that they want to. So you lose that control. But as an independent filmmaker, if you can raise the money yourself to shoot a film for, let's say, under $200,000,
Wow.
which is ultra low budget,
That's
SAG,
low.
and
Yeah.
I know a lot of guys. I have people that I know that are making films in Detroit and in Texas with no SAG actors. They're shooting
Okay.
them for like $60,000, and
Wow.
they're doing well, and they're putting them on Tubi, which is an
Wow.
AVOD, which is an advertisement video on demand. So they're making money from the advertisement. That's a good way to go. You get $65,000. You get a script that you like, that you can shoot with your friends, shoot at their house or whatever. Get a good, but you have to, make sure your deliverables are right. You can look that up. Make sure that the sound is good, the quality is good. But I know people shooting films for $65,000, and they're
Wow.
making 3 or 4 times that on Tubi.
Wow.
So I would suggest, if you really want to be a filmmaker, start with a smaller budget, get your feet wet, see what you can do with that smaller budget. But if you do have something that you see Denzel in, or something, and the script is big, it's got airports exploding and all that, try to option that. Go to production companies, see if they will take, what they call it is unsolicited. So see what you can do about getting a lawyer or whatever. Make sure you get it registered at the WGA, $25, $20, and then try to get someone to send it to a production company to possibly option it. But
what does that mean, though, Rick? Option. What is that? What is because you got a lot of people.
Oh, okay. That would be like a production company like Lionsgate. Let's say George and I wrote a script and it's going to be $50 million, and they're like, "Well, we like this script, so we're going to take it off your hands. We're going to give you $40,000, or it's negotiable what you get." But they basically take the script. They can shelf it, or they can make it. But you get paid for, like, as a writer of this script, because as a no-time filmmaker, or even me, to have a script that is going to take $20 million to make, I'm still independent. It's hard to get $20 million to make that film. It's hard to get $200,000 to make a film. So like, if you want to be a filmmaker, right now, before Tubi changes their platform like Netflix did, I had films on Netflix before, and now it's harder to get on Netflix because they're making their own films. You can make money off of AVODs, which is advertising and video on demand, on Tubi. Just shoot a small project, make it look good. That would be my suggestion. Forget about the big, you want to build yourself up to that. Once people see that you have made these great films, good work films, then they will look at your $10 million budget film. But right now, you want to just get some people together. Unless you want to sell your script to a production company, then you can write that big script and try to get it, get a literary agent who can shop that script for you. Other than that, if you want to be a filmmaker, start small.
Start small.
At least right now, that's the way the climate is right now. You'd be better off, because our job is, you don't want to make one film and not be able to make any more films. You want to make a film, make their investors their money back, so that you can move forward to make other films.
Wow. Yeah. Well, you're getting all kind of great advice. He's correct. Yeah. Thank you, Rick, so much for your input on that, because there are a lot of people, as I said in one of our other segments, there are a lot of people who believe that they have something in them to do this, and it's just like making music. My husband is into making music, so that's why I know about the independent artists. Almost the same things, except this, with making a film, you're taking 90 minutes, of content and trying to tell a story.
Yeah.
So, kudos to you guys for doing this kind of work, especially on the independent side, because all of us know who are on the independent side of anything, it's not easy, But yeah, love everything that you guys have shared with us today. Mr. Scribe, you have anything before we uh, sign off on
No,
this?
it's great
Here?
seeing you guys again. Want to stay connected, so I follow George. Follow you a little bit, Rick, but I'm definitely follow George. He pops up on my timeline every now and again, making comments and stuff. So I'll just be in touch with you. And I know George, you know, if I have anything I need to ask you regarding my journey,
Please.
I'll just shoot you an email or shoot you a text and things like that. So definitely, and I appreciate you too, also, Rick. As a matter of fact, I kind of tuned it back. I grew up liking horror films as well, but I had to tune back a little bit. But understanding, you know, the journeys that we're in, and just thanking God for all the provisions that He provides. And it's just amazing. Once you're obedient, people think, oh, I can't be obedient. He's going to make me do all these. That's not what it is. He wants to open doors and give blessings. All you have to do is just be obedient, and people turn that into something that it really is not. And you guys are prime examples of, hey, once I became obedient, my life changed. Not my circumstance, my life.
Right.
Wow.
That's the powerful part of this whole thing. So kudos to both of you guys.
All right.
Absolutely.
Well, any final words, you guys, before we sign off?
I just want to say, you know, our thoughts and prayers to everyone who's been affected by, you know, Helene, and the life that's lost and the people who are suffering. And if we can keep everyone, just say a prayer for everyone out there, because that right there is incredible what they're going through.
Wow. Wow. Yeah. If anybody doesn't believe in God, you know, that was what, one night, and whole towns were wiped out.
Yeah.
So, I encourage each and every one of you that are within the sound of our voice, as George says, please say a prayer up to everyone who's been affected, and so many that have been affected with all of the storms that have come through this year and last year. There are still many people that are still trying to build from other storms that have happened even 2-3 years ago. So if you don't believe who God is, we encourage you right now, go to your local churches. Sometimes you can find people that are on the street that will literally pray for you. I will say this. I have a son. His name is Eric, and he is on the streets of Atlanta, Georgia, and he is doing just that. So don't feel weird or afraid to go and find someone that you know trusted that can bring you to Christ first. Well, you guys, that is the end of our show. We thank you for everyone who have been a part of this conversation. Listen, I want you guys to stay tuned. We have other shows that are coming on with Level Up Nation. We got Tony D at 6 o'clock. We got our new show, which is CHH Jams Presents. They will be at 7 following Tony D. And who is going to round off our night will be Pat Nash at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we will see you next week, same time, same back channel, right here on Level Up at 3 p.m. Eastern, 2 p.m. Central, 12 p.m. Pacific. We love you. We mean it. Take care, everyone.
Have you ever felt like no matter how hard you tried, things just still go wrong?
Many times.
What do?
I let go and let God.
All I'm asking from you is to bump up our credit limit to where it was.
It's declined.
We're experiencing some financial hardships at the moment.
You have 6 days to make payment.
I can't believe this is happening.
You know, I never asked you to pray with me.
It's you and me. We got this.
God wants to help you, Peter.
Excuse me?
But you're not letting him in.
I did once. Last time we spoke, you took a man away from me I loved dearly. From that day, I swore to take matters into my own hands. But now I don't know what to do.
I know that you don't believe, but I will pray for you.
I love you so much.
Copy more.
There's a miracle. You believe in miracles?
Listen, if you need me, you call me.
of the angels in heaven are rejoicing, you gotta know that everything is gonna be okay.
Yo, here we go. Intro for my show. Nice though, hot like nitro. Cool as ice though. With that type of dichotomy, y'all know it's gotta be. Who else could it be but T? Rub your eyes, behold the Tony D. I'm the Dream Supreme DJ straight out of Queens. I'm eclectic, the dopest selected. Emerging music break. Tony D will take it. Yeah.
Well, Tony, I don't care, long as you take me there, someplace to ease my mind. Just cruising, just cruising. Well, Tony, just cruising. We just cruising.
Yo, this is recording artist Bertrand McKinney, aka Birdie, and you're listening to CHH Jams, where the bars come from the word. Y'all keep it locked.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, that's right. This is Orlando Presents right here on CHH Jam Presents. Make sure y'all tune in every Sunday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 6 p.m. Central Standard Time, and check out our new show, CHH Jam Presents, right here on The Real Level Up. Let's go, y'all. Let's level up, level up. Let's get it. CHH Jam Presents.
Mike Jesus. Yeah. One time for the independent women that's doing their own thing and killing the boss game. Working all night, pursuing a life change while putting my God first and praising his high name. I say, little mama, don't do that there. But the people hating on you, tell them we don't care. We gon' watch God work as they stop and step, and you be coming out the fire with the flawless hair. Yeah. But first you gotta love yourself, cause if you ain't trying to do it, then who else gon' care? Real talk, grab a mirror, gon' look real deep. Cause my God is top notch, he don't make nothing cheap. See, I'm looking for a woman that ain't scared to shine, who is led by a king that is so divine. I took some time to vibe what I feel is true. A salute to all women that are going through. I love you. Cause I'm looking for a girl like, looking for a girl like, looking for a girl like, looking for a girl like you. Yeah, I'm looking for a girl like, looking for a girl like, looking for a girl like.
Hey, this is Rick Irvin, producer and co-director of the film Heavenly Deposit. Let's have a real conversation with Level Up every Sunday, 3 to 5 p.m.
Real talk that takes you higher. Ordinary people with extraordinary stories. This is the mission of the Real Level Up, hosted by Angee from the B, co-hosted by me, Mr. Scribe, and our phenomenal producer, Grace Hendy. Tune in on Sundays, 3 to 5 Easterns, 2 to 4 Central, 1 to 3 Pacific, on Facebook, X, LinkedIn, and YouTube. Join us for an exciting show.
Heads up, Level Up Nation. At 6 p.m. Eastern, the new artist profile with Tony D. At 7 p.m. Eastern, CHH Jams Presents with Orlando and Kimberly. At 9 p.m. Eastern, Pat Nash Talks with Pat Nash. Coming in November is Dr. Kari Listens. Stay tuned, Level Up Nation.